Hi everybody, AZ Badfish here. Welcome back to my single player world in the new Direwolf20 mod pack. So, in the last episode, we built up this little workshed area. We made it look a little bit nicer. Since then, I've done a little bit, not a ton of stuff, but I wanted to come in here and check on my bread. So, in episode 1, I realized that I said something really incorrect. I was thinking about the sugarcane recipe, which is 3 sugarcane for 3 pieces of paper, when I said that this grindstone giving you flour from wheat isn't more efficient. It is 1 for 1. Like, I can turn 1 piece of wheat into 1 bit of flour, which cooks down into 1 piece of bread. So that is better than the vanilla recipe, which I was again confused for sugarcane, which is 3 pieces of wheat for 1 piece of bread. So we're doing a little bit better, but man, that is awful. It's awful. I gotta sit here and just hold right click forever to grind all that stuff. It's pretty gnarly, you guys. So in the end of last episode, I said that we were gonna do something about that, right? Because I needed to get better food situation, and I want to automate some animals, and I've been thinking about ways to do that. Now we've got a little bit of planning to do out here, so let's take a look. Oh yeah, I did move my smeltery a little bit closer. And oh yeah, thank you everyone. By the way, the first 2 episodes of this series, due to the holiday recording with Thanksgiving, my schedule, both those episodes were recorded before they came out. I've now seen your comments, and thank you for all the comments and suggestions, by the way. Like, I now know about the fruit trees, how to make saplings and stuff, or how to use them. I didn't realize you could just right click and get the fruit off of them. This cherry tree still says it's unripe. Not sure what's up with that, but we'll see if that produces anything. Not sure it will. But yeah, so I've been able to see the comments and stuff. Welcome all the new people to the channel. Hope you guys are enjoying the content, and thank you for all the suggestions. Keep them coming. Keep the help coming. I'm definitely going to need it, especially with some of the stuff we've got coming up. So I mentioned in the last episode I want to automate these animals, and I've come up with a way I want to do that. I've gone through a few different plans, one of which was like a self-powering contraption that uses blocks that kill the cows to produce essence, and uses the essence to spawn more cows. But it wasn't enough, right? Like the cows that were being spawned, there just wasn't enough to get enough essence to keep the machine running. So we're gonna do something a bit bigger and more complicated. I do think I'm gonna put it here-ish. So we're gonna move these animals, I think. Actually, you know what? No. I want to put them down here. I want to put the animal stuff here and the tree stuff up here. So I'll move that off camera. But before I do that, I want to show you guys. I know a little bit about a mod called Mine Factory Reloaded, because it's in the full craft pack that I play also. That is not in this pack, but we do have Industrial Foregoing, which apparently is you know what comes. Actually, it's what the spiritual successor is how Direwolf put it. But yeah, I noticed these blocks. A lot of them look a lot similar, so I'm messing around with them, and we're going to need a bunch of this stuff. But in order to get going, pretty much all of these blocks, like the mob crusher, for instance, that we're going to be building, uses plastic. And in order to get plastic, we need rubber. And if we follow this chain all the way down, we're going to need a latex processing unit, and then we're going to need a tree fluid extractor to actually get the latex to put through the processing unit. So we've got a bit of stuff to craft here. So what I think I'm going to do real quick before we really get going is get set up here. I'm going to craft a couple lassos, keep a breeding pair, fooderize most of these animals, keep the cows because we'll need them, because that's what we're going to be dealing with. And then yeah, once I'm a little bit more set up, I will come back to you guys. All right, so I'm a little more set up here. Going ahead and craft up this tree fluid extractor, which is real simple, just stone, furnace, redstone, and an iron gear, which we're going to make another one here because I need one for this. So just 5 iron ingots for that. No big deal. Furnace, we need 2 of them, so 1, 2. We'll get rid of all that stuff. And this machine case, which is wood planks, iron ingots, redstone blocks. Got all that stuff ready to go because I'm so prepared like that. And then add this stuff, latex processing unit, good to go. Now actually, what I should do is make more of these. All right, so put my brain to work and thought ahead a little bit and crafted up a whole bunch of other stuff. So let's go ahead and start putting some machines down. This is going to be a temporary setup. We will most definitely be moving this later, but I want to start with a mechanical user so we can just go ahead and straight up automate the placing of blocks. Yeah, and then we'll go ahead and surround this because I want to put 4 tree fluid extractors, and I actually think I need to place them this way. Yeah, okay, cool. Each of these is going to be extracting latex from a log that's going to get placed, and I don't believe it needs power, so if I place a log here, shift right click there, I believe this is working. If I click on this, see, yeah, it's got a little bit. It's got a little bit. Each of these has got a little bit, and you can see, yeah, there it goes, starting to break. All right, we're good. We're good. So this is working, and now I should be able to just attach fluid ducts to these with servos, pull out the liquid latex, and we can put it in a tank for now, which I've got right here. All right, so this is kind of what the cabling looks like. Let's grab our servos, and then I think if I just right click here and we set each one up real fast here, and then we need one in the middle. Can I reach it? Let's get up here. Right there, cool. And then I should just be able to set these to ignore the redstone signal. Aha! And all of them should be going. And now we're pumping the liquid latex from there into here. Sweet. Okay, so that's one project down. The next step to this is going to be taking this latex and creating a refinery for it, pretty much. So I think right back here we should be able to set something up. Now I've gone ahead and brought a brand new energy cell along with a brand new coal generator. Now these RF tool coal generators are so good early game. They're easy to make once you get a bit of lapis and gold, and then excuse me, they produce 60 RF per tick. So that's that seems to be the best early game generator. So if I look at this, energy cell should be receiving. All right, all that's good. Next up, I need this latex processing unit. So I think I'm going to set this guy to, let's just do this, set the top to receive and the side to output. And we're just going to output power straight to him. And there we go. He's receiving power. Sweet. So we need to set up a place for a tank to go, and I'm pretty sure I can just put this tank right on top. So is there a way to configure? I don't think it matters. All right, so he's got power. He'll get latex from there. Oh, we need water. I forgot about that. Oh, and it's dark. Let's run inside. So automating the water isn't going to be a problem once we have access to plastic, because we can craft this water condensator, which basically sits in between 2 water source blocks, and it becomes like a water source that you can pump out of. At least that's the plan going forward. Do I have any other buckets? I'm pretty sure I have buckets somewhere. Buckets. Do I have buckets? I don't, but I have plenty of iron. So let's craft up a few more buckets, and for right now, I'll just fill the thing manually. But once we start getting some plastic, I can use that to craft that condensator, and then we can start pumping in water automatically. Yeah, and I can just right-click the bucket straight into there. Sweet. So now it's got water, I guess, full. Well, not full. It can hold 8 buckets, so that's cool. I wonder how much each of this uses. So now all I should need to do, I think, can it output automatically to a chest? I don't know if it can, but we should definitely be able to do that. I went ahead and crafted up some item ducts so we can pull them out. Servo on you. Ignore that so you're always active. Cool. So then I think if I did this right, if I just pick this up, I can put the tank right here. No. Wow, okay, so I've got it reconfigured now, and this is working pretty swell, but check this out. This takes 1 bucket of water for every single one of these. Each one of these takes a whole bucket of water. So that's pretty insane. Let me figure out exactly how many of those we're gonna need. So if I guess I can just keep looking at it here. I need 2 pieces of plastic to make this thing, and each piece of plastic takes a piece of dry rubber, which is 9 pieces of tiny dry rubber, which is what I think is coming out of here. Wow, okay, so I need like 18 of these, 18 buckets of water. All right, got our plastic. What else do we need for this thing? A couple pistons, some iron gears, water bucket. Man, we've got a bit of a crafting hole we're in. Okay, so we need stuff. All right, water condensator. Now, does this thing require power? It does not. Very cool. All right, so since this thing doesn't require power, what I'm thinking is I can just plop it right here. And then if I come back here with my fluid duct and drop down another one so we can actually connect it in here, I should be able to put a servo here. Make sure you are always on. And then come back up, fill that in, put a water here, and then a water here. And this fills water automatically. Nice. So now this is automatically making latex for us because the mechanical user, of course, is placing the blocks for us. Very cool. Whoa, over 2 stacks already? Man, this thing works really fast when I don't have to manually feed it water buckets. All right, let's go craft up a bunch of machines. We're gonna need a bunch of fancy stuff here. So let's kind of take a look. The first is the mob crusher. We're gonna need 2 pieces of plastic. Actually, we're gonna need 4 machines, maybe 5 machines. I can't remember. At any rate, we're gonna need to make a bunch of rubber and plastic. So we'll go ahead and craft up some of these, get them cooking, and then we can take a look at the rest of the stuff. So I need books, I need iron swords, I need gold gears, machine cases. What's some of the other things that we're gonna need? Let's just take a look and then I'll craft it all up off camera. So you guys will have to watch me continue to craft a bunch of stuff. I need 2 animal separators, 6 emeralds, man, that's a lot. I am worried about the purple dye as well, to be honest with you. Yeah, this stuff shouldn't be a problem. Ooh, 10 emeralds, very nice. I've got plenty of lapis. It's the red. I should have enough. I should have plenty of that stuff. Okay, what about the animal feeder? Okay, just gold, purple dye, plastic, good stuff. And the animal grower, basically the same thing, only wheat instead of gold. Sweet. All right, I'm gonna craft up all that stuff. Okay, I think I've got everything we're gonna need except for this other thing called an adult filter, which is just a few nuggets, an egg, some plastic. No problem. Where I could have sworn, oh, it's actually in, oh, where'd it go? All right, that's very strange. I would have sworn, oh, I just used it to make the mob crusher. All right, so adult filter, and there we go. We're gonna need that for one of these animal baby separators so that it only works on adults. All right, so I've got some other stuff pretty much ready to go here. I can keep that stuff, it's fine. We're gonna run out here and I'm gonna start building up these platforms. Now I want it to be a little bit off the ground so that I have easy access to the underneath, and I've used these cobblestone and I've chiseled them to these weathered brick patterns because I think they look pretty cool. So I want the pattern or the platform to actually start right here, and what we're going to do is we're going to create 3 different chambers, if you will, that are each 5 by 5. So like this is going to be one corner here. So this is one chamber, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the next one's gonna come over here, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you get the idea. I'm gonna make 3 of these, and then I'll come back to you. All right, so this is kind of what we got going on here. Ignore all these staircases, they're temporary. These are to let grass spread up here, and these are just so I can get up here. So we've got 3 chambers here. Each one is 5 by 5, and that's because that's the range of all of these machines here. And if we look at, for example, the animal feeder, if we look at the book, When provided with power and food for the animals, it will feed them, put them in a mood for breeding. There can only be 20 animals at the same time in the working area. So that means to start with, we're going to have 20 adult cows in this breeding chamber. And we can actually go ahead, and if I grab out, we'll just grab all these machines. We will throw some of this stuff away. I'll grab all these machines. And, right. So the animal feeder can go not like that. I forget. Let's get out here like this, and animal feeder like that. So if we check on this, show the working area, we can see, yeah, any animals inside this 5x5 area that can accept the food to be put in the mood to breed and are able to breed. They're not on cooldown. It'll automatically breed in. Okay, so the next chamber is the animal baby growing space. So we're gonna plop down a animal baby separator, and just to check, all right, so any babies in this area, this machine is going to suck them through from this side to the opposite side. So that is how this machine works, and it's really pretty simple. That's kind of all it does. And we'll throw another one right here, and we can double check that. Yeah, this one though, this is where that, remember we created that adult filter. So if I put an adult filter in here, this actually kind of inverts it. So now any adults in this area get moved from this side of the machine to the other side. Pretty cool. So, and if what we can do right here in this spot is if we throw another machine called the animal grower, this machine also takes wheat. So both these machines are going to need to get supplied with wheat automatically. So we're going to have to set that up before this can really start working. But it will feed it to babies, and it works on the same concept. You know, once they're able to accept the wheat or whatever it's got, it will just give it to them. So that works pretty nice. And I don't need to click these buttons. I actually want to turn them off, because all of these machines work in a 5x5. So that is pretty handy. And then, of course, on this side, finally, the adults, once they grow up, they'll get sucked through into this side, and that is where they're going to meet our friend, the mob crusher. So the mob crusher is going to kill them up, and we're going to get our items from that. So now what we've got to do to finish this out, I suppose, is finish building up our glass walls, and then I'll have to start hooking up all these machines to power and item conduits and stuff like that, which we'll get to in just a second. Oh man, that's going to need more than a stack of glass. Yikes. Alright, so it occurs to me while I was trying to wire up all those machines that I actually need another type of duct from thermal expansion, and that is the signalum. I don't know, for some reason my brain wants to say signalum. Let me know down in the comments if that's wrong. But yeah, the signalum version of these, either I don't know what you would necessarily need the flux duct version of it for. I guess it's just a crafting item, but the signalum plated fluid duct and the signalum plated item duct, basically it allows me to combine both the regular leadstone flux duct, which is just power, and fluid duct or item duct together into one. So what I think I'm going to do is just grab, I don't know. I guess I'm going to need to grab a little bit of both just to be on the safe side. But all I really need to do for that, it's a little bit expensive, but basically I'll just grab a signalum ingot, which is a copper and silver together. Well, like 3 copper and 1 silver, and then electrum, which I think is again 3 to 1, it might be 1 to 1, I don't know, but it's gold and silver together. 2 of those with 3 of whatever type of duct will give you 3 of the signalum plated versions. So we're gonna make a couple of those up so that I can hopefully get that stuff wired up in an efficient way. Oh, looks like I was wrong again. So signalum blend, in order to get that, I need destabilized redstone buckets as well, which is pretty nuts. How do I get destabilized redstone? Aha, okay, I can cook down a block of redstone in magma crucible, which is one way. Oh, and I have a few of these. I could also cook down in magma crucible. Okay, so I can make some of that stuff. Man, all right, and then to actually craft down the ingots, I need to smelt that with some sand. Man, that is That's pretty rough. I wonder if I can just smelt that itself. I guess I'll try that, but this seems like a good time for an update. So I have gone ahead and done all of the basic cabling. Let me show you guys what's going on. So I've done my best to make this look as nice as I can. I actually kind of like the way these are big and in your face, like bright red. You know, I like the way some of the cables look, and I think it makes it look like super high tech and stuff like that. I think it's kind of cool. So that doesn't bother me so much. I just mean as far as efficiency and use of the cabling and stuff like that. So temporarily, I've got a cold generator here. I haven't started any of this yet, so there's no power to it. But assuming this had power, this cable should be providing power to all of the machines. Now, you'll notice some of these are changed, like this is connected here, and you know, the red cable's connected here. That's because these are the signalum plated versions that I was talking about. So what I've got here is this chest with a servo on it pulling the items out. There's nothing in it right now, but this chest is assuming a connection to a wheat farm, which I'm going to be having to build, right? A little automatic wheat farm that'll hopefully provide enough wheat to, you know, keep the cows bred up, is keep breeding the cows and keep growing the babies. So one of the things that I've got here with this servo is I noticed that there's not a whole lot of options here, and I'm hoping that I still have it here. Great. That's great, because I was like, I'm pretty sure I need a different type of servo. I need one of these signalum servos, and that's because, and we're going to need another one later, but for this particular one, I want to set this to round robin. So, I mean, we're going to ignore MBT, ignore metadata. We're going to blacklist and blacklist nothing, so it pulls everything, because the only thing that's going to go in here is wheat. So this is going to pull wheat out and distribute it evenly between the grower for the babies and the feeder to breed the adults. Over here on this end, I've got a signalum plated fluid duct actually connected to the mob crusher. This is going to be pulling out our mob essence that comes out of here, and it's going to be piping it into this tank. Now, I am assuming that this should still work. I guess we'll see. This power connected here, I'm just worried that because there's a servo on here that it like acts as like an exit point only, so it won't actually put power into it. I think it should be fine though, because I'm pretty sure servo only affects items and fluids. So I guess we'll see once I actually power it up. This is going to be pulling our items out. So like our beef and our leather is going to end up in here. And now I've got an idea for another system. So let's go back into JEI and take a look at a generator that is called the culinary generator. Right, this guy. So there's a bunch of different recipes. I've got all this stuff. We can make this pretty easily. Furnace generator, just a machine block. Extra utilities. Basically, the culinary generator will take cooked food and turn that into power. So if I build up one of those culinary generators and hook it up in conjunction with a redstone furnace, which is made like this, a bunch of stuff here. If I do that, I can basically pull the beef out, cook it, round robin it out, so some of it comes back into this chest, and then the other half goes into the culinary generator, which is powering this. If I can produce the cows fast enough, I think this should be sufficient self-powering farm, right? I think that would be pretty sweet. The cool thing about these machines is once they fill up their tanks, they don't use any power unless they're actually working, and they will not actually work unless they have something to do. So for example, if all of the adult cows in here are on breeding cooldown, this will not have anything to do, so it will not be working and using power, it'll just be storing power. So I'm hoping that that'll be enough. I guess we'll figure that out. I'm going to go sleep the night away and then craft up some of those machines. All right, so this is a little bit more spaghetti than I'd like, but it works for now. I can still access everything I need to access, so we're okay there. Now, what I've got going on here, of course, I showed before, we get the servo pulling items here, and this servo is whitelisting raw beef. So just a regular servo set to whitelist. and it's going to pull out all the raw beef, and like I said, into the redstone furnace. This signalum servo is again just going to pull out everything. It's set to blacklist nothing, but it's set to round robin, so it should go between putting a cooked steak in the generator and then a cooked steak in the chest, so that hopefully this thing here should generate both for us. So in order to get this started, of course, we've got to add a little bit of coal to that generator so that all the machines get their starting power. And of course, we'll have to move the cows. And but before we even get to that, I'm going to have to look into these machines for building, I guess, an automated wheat farm. So I've got plant gatherer, a plant... Oh, well, there's plant gatherer and a plant sower, I guess is what I need. Okay, so things are getting a little crazy over here. I've decided that this setup is temporary. We'll build a much better automatic wheat farm later when we can upgrade these machines, make bigger one. This seems like it's pretty inefficient, but if I show you real quick, if I click on this, show working area, this works in a 3x3 of the blocks above it. Now, I suddenly am worried that this is not going to plant on that and that this whole thing needs to come down by one. If that's the case, I'll just bring this block up by one when we're testing it. But yeah, so I put seeds in here, locked it so it can only receive seeds. That's kind of important because up on top, we've got our plant gatherer, and he is going to be, once we turn power, he'll just receive power. He's also going to be producing sludge for us. For right now, I'm just going to leave it in there because according to the book, if this fills up, nothing bad actually happens. It just stays full. But we're going to be extracting that and saving it, maybe for future use. I'm not sure yet. But yeah, so we are going to be pulling out. Again, we've got the same thing here where I switched to signalum plated item duct so that hopefully it's still receiving power even though this is pulling items out. So we're pulling items out and putting it all into this chest. And then... this chest, I don't know that I need that chest. I don't know. Anyway, but this is pulling items from the chest, and oh, I think I did that in case I need to maybe do something in here with the items and stuff. But this is going to be pulling the wheat and seeds out. The wheat should end up in that chest. The seeds should go in here until this is completely full. Then I suppose the seeds will show up over here, in which case I need to get some wheat and set up a whitelist in here so that it only pulls out wheat. All right, so this is all set up. I think I'm ready to test it out. I am going to go harvest a bunch of wheat so that I have some in this chest already. And then I'll move the cows over, and then we'll test it out. All right, that's the last of the cows. There's 20 in there now. So, in theory, I should be able to put a bit of coal in this coal generator. It'll provide the starting power, and then hopefully there's enough stuff to keep all this going. Now, there's no wheat anywhere yet, so they won't start. I think it'll be cool if I just throw some in here, and we'll just check and make sure that all the machines are actually getting power. You're storing energy. Sweet. Looks like everything's getting power. Looks like this is receiving power. It's trying to work, but it's not able to, and I think that's because I probably do need to bring this up by one block. It's kind of hard to tell. All right, so now it's actually using its power, and it's not storing anything, but it's definitely planting some seeds. So let's hop up here and take a look. Cool, so these are being planted. I bet I could add some worms in here to make this a little bit more automated. Now that it's done planting, it's still not storing power. That's very strange to me. Why some of the machines will store power and some of them don't. Okay, so last thing. Let's change this to whitelist, set that to wheat, and then we'll come in here, and when I drop the wheat in here, we should see, hopefully, if I change this to ignore redstone signal, there we go. One goes left, one goes to right. Excellent. That's exactly what I wanted to see. And now, once this thing starts getting wheat, we'll start seeing cow hearts. And then a baby gets sucked over here. Haha, this is working. Let's rid of the other side. Oh, it's a maze of cables. Well, it seems that I may have built something I'm not quite ready for yet. This giant automatic cow factory is basically powered by wheat, if you think about it, and that right now is currently my only automatic wheat production, so that clearly is a problem. So these guys are not growing up really that fast. They're going to grow up the normal rate. In fact, I am going to disconnect this temporarily until I get some better wheat production. That way all the wheat that we get goes into the breeding chamber, and that way these guys will grow up at a normal rate. The problem is that it goes through it so fast. You know, it requires quite a bit of wheat actually to grow a baby cow all the way to an adult. And since we're trying to do 10 at a time, you know, whatever wheat we get is going to be split amongst all the cows that are in here. So yeah, we're going to need a whole ton of wheat, a massive amount of wheat production before I can really turn this section back on. And even for now, I will go ahead and just deactivate this once again so that it's only active on a redstone signal. But yeah, I think that's where this is going to sit for now. Yeah, eventually one of these guys should grow up. Takes forever when you don't feed them with the machine. All right, here we go. They're growing up and getting sucked through. Very cool. And of course the crusher's getting them automatically. This is pulling the items out, and I think if we watch here, we should see any raw beef that goes in there should come out. There we go. I guess that's the only raw beef that we got. That's pretty crazy. What was that, like 3 or 4 cows at least? Only got one piece? Oh wait, no, there's a couple in there. Alright, cool. And yeah, and that's round robin it. Some of it's going in here. Some of it's going back into the chest. Exactly what we wanted to see. And over here, well, this is not storing energy yet because it's still piping all its energy. Not all these machines have their energy banks full yet. So, yeah. Once those are full, then that power cell will start filling up. But yeah, I think this is working sorta how I wanted it. We can see we're even getting mob essence in here in the tank now. That's great. All right, guys. So now that that's up and running, I think we can go ahead and call this an episode. Before we go, though, I wanted to get your guys' suggestions. If you're still watching, I definitely appreciate it. I know it's been a long episode, but I definitely want to get your guys' suggestions on late game and like mid game power generation, because right now I'm just running on coal generators everywhere except for this. But yeah, I know there's like big reactors, big machines. Let me know what you guys think I should work towards first. But yeah, as I said, we're definitely running along on this episode, so we'll go ahead and call it here. If you guys did like this episode, please leave me a like, leave me a comment down below. I've been really appreciating seeing all of them from you guys, so thanks a lot for all that. And hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel and are enjoying the content, want to see more. I've got some other stuff on the channel as well you might enjoy. And yeah, this is AZ Badfish signing out. See you next time. Bye-bye.